Hey everybody, this is Dino.
And Michelle.
And we want to talk to you about our podcast. Guys, would you please? We're trying to record a promo here for our podcast.
A podcast about horror movies and video games?
A podcast about family and friends?
Yes, that's exactly what we're trying to do.
Maybe we'll put a little bit of faith in there too.
And being decent to each other.
Sounds good to me.
Hey Nico, what should we call it?
Podcast.
On the Far-Sighted Network.
Hey there, this is John from Pino Comics.
And I'm Lloyd, also from Pino Comics.
And I'm the other John, and you get it by now. As you may know, we sometimes use language on this show that can be described as...
Filthy.
Okay.
Reprehensible?
Crude?
Sure.
Nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, guys. We all know that it's just plain out gutter talk.
You've been warned. Listen in.
Pina Comics here. I like sneaking up on you folks.
Wow.
Sir John on one side of the table.
I'm here.
The Manster on another side of the table.
Yes.
I am Ganache on this side of the table. Special guest, Scary Larry Dwyer. Scary Larry Dwyer!
That was a stupid theme song. That was the worst
Definitely,
song.
it takes
was
away
not
the
scary at
scariness.
all.
Yeah,
It's like Wayne and Wanda.
It'd be like if Fred Schneider from the B-52s sang your theme song. It's like Larry's a really dark guy.
I felt like I just walked into like the Regal Beagle. It was like,
He's here to talk all about horror. Scary Larry Dwyer. So we're gonna first things first. I want to bring up that this episode is going to be come out in October. So happy Halloween season to everybody. Woo. Larry, I know that you're just you love this time of year.
I do. It's the most wonderful time.
Does this supplant
Of the
Christmas time for
year.
you? Is this your Christmas?
I never really gave two shits about Christmas, but now that I got kids, I do.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like to give them shit.
My kids love Halloween the best.
Yeah. My kids love Christmas the best because they get shit.
Yeah.
When we were at
It's Christmas meat.
Yeah.
when we were at Connecticut Horror Fest,
Yep.
we were talking to our buddy Brendan Fremantle, and I think he surmised it pretty well for a guy kind of like in the same wheelhouse as you. He said that he calls, I think, from September to maybe like November 1st, spooky time.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
and then he said like middle November to the end of December is holiday season.
Yep.
What
But
month is it right now? September?
right now we're finishing September off.
I've already started Christmas shopping.
Really?
Yeah, the Christmas stuff is already out there. So.
I bought one Christmas present today.
Jesus.
There you go.
Yep. No, not Jesus.
He's not for sale, man.
Celebrate Festivus. We don't give gifts.
That's right. I have a pole in my
The
basement.
airing of the grievances.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
Kruger,
Feats of strength.
Kruger, my son says you couldn't smooth side of a bed sheet. Great episode if you've never seen that one. That's actually one of my favorite episodes of Seinfeld. But we're not here to talk about Seinfeld tonight.
Not tonight.
We're here to talk about, boy, oh boy, Lloyd was so excited to be on this one. Or at least we were going to do this one with Andrew Morgan. He was going to be there. And then Lloyd showed up for that one anyway. So we said, you know what? This is the perfect Scary Larry episode.
Yeah.
Top 5 favorite. Now, by saying favorite, we're not saying the best made. We're not saying...
We're not?
No, we're saying to you, what is your favorite? What are your 5 favorite... Larry, what movies?
Vampire.
Vampire.
Lloyd, how many do you have?
11.
Okay. Lloyd's got 11. Larry said that
15.
15.
I've got 9.
I got to be honest. Out of all
John's got 2.
out of all the lists we've done, and I don't want to put vampire movies down.
I actually had to edit mine today.
Oh, so did I.
I looked up.
I came down from like 20 something.
I went online and looked up top 50 vampire movies of all time, and found a couple websites that had kind of already done lists and printed them, and didn't print them out. Just went through them myself.
So you plagiarized.
No, I did not plagiarize. No. I wanted to kind of refresh my memory if there was certain ones I'd forgotten about. And I got to be honest.
Did you forget?
No, not really a lot. And I've got to say, for me, the vampire series or the vampire corner of movies, it really, there's a lot to me more not good than there's good.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of shitty ones.
A lot of
I got 5 down.
I got a really shitty one on my honorable mention list. Trust me, but I love it.
You love it?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got
totally
5 down.
I bet you I know what it is.
I've got 5 down. I probably have, I could say, probably 3 honorable mentions.
Okay.
And in all honesty, that's it. That's it. I
See,
really...
well, you know me with favorites, right?
Yeah.
I'm not big on favorites. I think I can get my top 3, and then
Lloyd
the rest.
doesn't
I'll
play
just,
favorites.
No, I don't play.
Well, what I would like
Lloyd's
to do...
all about the Jason
The
Powell.
rest is just whatever I happen to point to and look at.
What I would like to do for this list, and we've done it in the past before, is 5 through 2. You can put them in order if you want. I do want 1 to be your number 1.
Yeah.
All
Right. I think
I gotta look at my list again.
I can do that. I can do that.
5 through 2, we could just kind of throw in there and say, okay, this one's better than that one.
I have a number 1. So,
You do have a number 1.
yeah, we can do that.
All right. So since Larry is our special guest for this one, I think we're going to go to him last.
Yeah.
I want to go to him last. I want to get to hear what his is last. You know what? No. Okay. I'm going to take that
All right,
back.
I got mine.
Let's start with Larry first.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, let's go first.
So much pressure.
We're going to start with Larry first.
So much pressure.
We're going to go around, and the way we'll do it is obviously we're going to have, I think, some.
Yeah.
So if you bring up one, we'll talk about it. If it gets to me and I have that one on there as well, I'll say it as well, but we don't have to get back into it again. So
I propose that anybody who doesn't like one that somebody else says, you could punch them in the face.
I honestly thought for a minute you were
I'm
going to.
picking one that people won't like on purpose, though. So.
I was honestly thinking Larry was going to.
Please don't mar my face. I'm going on a date tomorrow.
All right.
I had the thought process that Larry was going to say something like I think that if someone says something on their list and you guys haven't seen it, then you make it a point to watch it. But no, he went all fucking violent with it.
We just talked about Maniac in another episode. So
just flick
my
him with
head
the
is
flabby
still
thing.
my head is still in fucking Joe Spinell mode. So
I'm not doing it.
You know, if Lou actually
He's trying to antagonize me into doing it.
don't do it.
if Lou actually liked you, Larry, and was here, I would
Right?
say that after the show was over, we would tally up who had punches. Like I get to punch Lloyd 3 times, and we filmed it, but Lou's not here because he doesn't like you.
Right.
And so we're not gonna be able to do that. But
Does it have to be in the face?
No,
How about just
Not
like
in
a
the
punch
face,
in the
not in the
gut?
face.
a good gut punch
Yeah,
too.
good gut
punch.
punch.
Yeah.
you get to choose head or gut.
All right.
Head or gut. That's fair.
Bruce Willis. Head or gut. What was? That was in.
Not Hudson Hawk.
No, Last Boy Scout.
Last Boy Scout.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Yep.
Right.
He'd always give him a choice, head or gut.
Man, that's been coming up a lot.
Like 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
We're
The
gonna-
CT,
It's the
CT
Danielle
Horror
Harris,
Fest.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
the
Danielle Harris. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it came up.
right.
I think it came up during one of our Pipe Movie Invitationals. Not even talking about her. I think it came up.
We just brought it because it's
It's a good movie.
I'm gonna,
It
I'm
is.
gonna,
It
you know
really
what?
is.
I'm gonna
In
rewatch
First
it.
Blood, I think.
yeah.
We talked about it. in
Yeah, I think
Blood.
First Blood. Yeah, this
That
thing
was
just
one of
keeps
those
popping
under
up.
the radar.
Yes, it
movies.
was. Yes, it
But it was
was.
good. I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah, I always did too. It's got a good cast.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about that movie.
How the hell we're on this?
No,
but-
one of the things I love about that movie is like not the main bad guy, but like the assassin is Taylor Negron.
Oh,
who's
yeah,
that
right.
really weird like stand-up comedian who's kind of a feat. He's the pizza guy
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
He's
But,
dead.
like-
He's dead, you know.
Is
Yeah.
he dead? Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he-
like just a couple years
a few
ago.
years. Yeah.
And he was really a really funny stand-up comic too. He used to always do
I
like
never knew he did stand up.
Oh, yeah, he did
MTV
fun
half-hour
stuff.
comedy hour in the 80s.
Yep, he was on it all the
He was on it
time.
all the time. Very funny dude.
Oh, my God.
But like right in the middle of that, right in the middle of that, he played like this fucking like this assassin in this movie. It was a really weird.
What do you say? Joseph, just once. I would like to hear you scream.
Yeah.
Play some rap music.
Well, this is not the last Boy Scout episode.
I think it's gonna be.
It might end up being.
I forgot about that line. That was a good one.
That is a good one. All right, Larry, what is your number 5?
This was the hardest for me. My numbers 1 through 4 came to me easily.
Okay.
What happened with 5 was I wrote down like another 20 movies that I like.
Yeah.
And was like, oh my God, what is going to be the one out of all these movies that I really like that's going to get the last spot in this list? And that's what I hate about doing lists is so much gets left out.
Fucking lists.
Yeah, which is
That's why we got honorable mention.
I'm going to honorable mention the shit out of this episode. It was one that I told John we discussed, and I was like, I'm not going to include it because it's not technically a movie,
Oh, okay.
right? It's made for TV.
But there was a technicality. There was a technicality.
I know what you mean.
There's a technicality. The
Okay.
technicality that John pointed out and I remembered was that it was actually cut down from the made-for-TV version and released overseas in the theaters. So
Yep.
it is a movie. and that would be 1979 Salem's Lot.
See, I didn't include that at all. So
I didn't even think
There's
of
another
it,
one.
honestly.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I thought of it.
There's
There's my
Mis-
favorite vampire.
There's
so.
Mr. Barlow right there on my bicep.
Oh, no,
That's beautiful.
Still one of the creepiest scenes in any filmed thing ever is the kid scratching on the window.
Yeah.
You brought that up
The
before.
floater.
I to this day I still think about that. It's just goddamn creepy.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
the way they did the
Ralphie
eye
Glick.
makeup, yeah,
Yeah.
the eye makeup was just great. So
And this is Toby Hooper, right?
Yeah, Toby
Yeah, it
Hooper
is.
directed, based on the story by Stephen King,
David Soul,
which they changed a bit in the
Bonnie
in the
Bedelia.
book. Well, it wasn't a book; it was actually a short story as part of Night Shift, I think, right?
Jerusalem.
No, it was a full. I'm sorry, it was a
Salem's
full
Lot was
book.
Yeah, Jerusalem's Lot.
Jerusalem's Lot was
Yeah,
the-
that was
that's
Night
right.
Yeah.
But in the book, Barlow was just a normal looking guy.
Yeah.
with dialogue and everything.
So
For
in the movie, he looks like Nosferatu.
he looks like
Blue.
Nosferatu, and he
Looks like a
doesn't
blue
have any
Nosferatu.
Because
lines
he-
at all. He doesn't speak at all.
Yeah, you have his functionary, which was
What's that guy's
James
name?
Mason.
James Mason.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Barlow and
I've never seen
Parker.
this.
and,
Really?
I've never seen this.
Oh wow.
You've
Yeah.
never seen Salem's Lot.
Oh, Bonnie Bedelia is so sexy in this.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, yeah. I'm agreeing just because I've seen her.
Who's, who's the boy?
Back to
Back to
Bruce
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Holly McLean.
Is it Lance Kerwin? Is that
Yes,
the boy's
yes,
name?
yeah.
Yeah, Lance Kerwin.
Who had a brief career, but
Yeah.
fairly strong, and he was pretty good in it.
And
Yeah.
this was like a 4-hour miniseries, and then called down to a
Well,
2-hour.
It was
four?
it was
It's about
2-hour
3
episodes,
hours.
but with commercials, it's really about 3.
Right.
There's a bunch of people in it you'll recognize.
A ton of recognizable people. I watched it recently, and it's slower than I remember.
Oh, very.
It is slow, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's it's made for TV,
Right.
And wasn't it recently remade in with Rob Lowe? I think I'm thinking like
Did
A&E or
they?
something like that.
Well, they did a
sounds
sequel,
familiar.
Return to Salem's Lot, but
Which
then I
was
think you're
bad.
right. I think they did a remake of it.
Yeah.
Which I never saw if they did.
Return was
Me
not
neither.
good.
No, Return wasn't good
No,
either. It wasn't good, but yeah, Barlow is one of my favorite vampires of all
Yeah,
time.
same here.
yeah.
You will enjoy Mr. Barlow.
As a matter of fact, did you see the Barlow at the Horror Fest?
I did.
What was that? $500, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Too steep for
little,
me.
Yeah, a little out of
Wow.
my price range.
They've made very few of those. 75, I think. I may have the number wrong. but-
And I will tell you that there may be some movies on my honorable mention that maybe I like a little bit more, but this is in there purely on history with me.
Yeah.
Growing up, it
Yeah.
scared the shit out of me.
Well, and like
I
you know,
feel ya.
I saw it. I was like 8 years old, and like you said, when Ralphie Glick is floating outside the fucking his little brother's window, I didn't sleep for fucking days.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that scared every kid,
Yeah.
you know.
Kid.
It
Fuck
still
that.
scares
It
me.
still scares the shit
Yeah,
out
it
of
still
me.
scares me. It's one of the creepiest scenes probably in any made-for-TV
Yeah.
movie, with the exception of what was the possession movie where the woman was fucking floating around the fucking house. I will get back to that in another episode. In our
Top five possessions?
top 5 possession
Yeah,
movies.
really.
I can't remember. Oh, The Entity.
Oh.
Yeah, The Entity was a great made-for-TV.
oh, is that the one where the thing's like raping her?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like
yeah.
throwing her around the fucking.
yeah.
Yeah, that was. I saw that years ago. That was
It's
fucking
yeah,
heavy.
It's
It
super
is-
creepy.
It's
Yeah.
a good movie too.
yeah,
Yeah.
Brooke something. I can't remember her name, but
Yeah.
that's a creepy fucking
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Anywho, Salem's Lot
Anywho.
made it over some that I might
Yeah.
actually like better, but just for me and the history with me, it's in there. It's
I think one of the
my
important things, and we talked about this because we did so this is kind of like one of our October Halloween episodes we're going to be doing this year.
I'm drinking coffee that's thicker than blood right now.
There you
so-
go. So I'll tell my wife that you said that. She'll listen and she's going to punch you right in the face. So you get punched in the face about a month from now for nothing. You know why.
real violent
But
episode.
I like it that way.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, I think one of the things that's important is, so we did our 5 favorite horror movies a couple years ago,
Right.
in the first year of the show or so. And I think if we did it this time, it'd be different. I
Oh,
think,
it would be different.
I think top 5 lists, stuff like that,
They
are
do.
constantly going to be kind of moving around. So I think that's kind of important too. Salem's Lot might not even be on your list next year.
Right.
One of the honorable mentions might move up.
Yeah, it's a great vampire with great scenes. It's a slow movie.
it is a slow movie.
It is.
It's
but
hard to watch from beginning to end. If you could just compress it to all the good stuff.
Well, see,
Which
maybe
they did.
Maybe that's where you want to check out the theatrical version.
They cut it down to a theatrical version, which I haven't seen, so I don't know how that plays.
I like the lengthy stuff because you get those
lot of
weird
story and-
the weird interaction between
Well, the
David
book is
Soul
very
and Bonnie
much like
Bedelia,
that.
and and it's
The book,
very it's very timely too because it was done late 70s.
79, yeah.
Yeah, so you get that 70s feel to everything, and it's upstate Maine too. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, John, what's your number 5?
Off of my list, and again, until we get to number 1, none of these are really in any order, unlike Larry. But I'm gonna go with Fright Night.
Yeah.
The original. The original.
Oh, hold on. That's the other bicep.
There you go. Yeah. I love Fright Night. I love Evil. I love everybody that's in it. It's just such a fun movie. It still holds up to this day as being a great film. Not just because of the scary factor, but it's a great vampire story of there's a vampire living next to me. I got to kill him.
Right.
It's awesome.
I honestly don't know if I've ever seen the original all the way through.
He could have just left well enough alone.
Right? Yeah.
I
And
have-
Chris Sarandon's fucking awesome.
I have seen the remake, which I did like the remake.
The remake is on my honorable mentions.
Okay.
And what's his name as his familiar? What the fuck's the guy name?
Evil.
No, not Evil. The one who was his caretaker. He's fucking hysterical. I can't remember his fucking name.
Yeah.
He looked like almost like Bill Paxton, but it's not.
Yeah.
Isn't Marcy from Married with Children in this too?
She certainly is.
Amanda Bierce. Yeah.
Yep. She's the girlfriend.
Not in real life.
Hey,
Clams Casino.
hey, you guys.
To fully understand that joke, see our Maniac episode, which may or may not be out at this point. So
But she was good in it, though. I mean, and when she gets turned into a vampire, it's pretty interesting. So.
Oh, fucking spoilers, man.
I know, really. I was like,
Fuck it. You know,
Never
this was
seen
one
this.
that I wanted to rewatch for this.
It's been a
but
long time since I've seen
I didn't
it.
get to rewatch it, and so I'm not remembering a lot. But I think you just knocked out my number
Well,
5.
Roddy McDowell, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right, because Roddy McDowell plays like an ex, like Sven, like a horror host.
He's a horror
right?
host
Yeah.
that has a little bit of skill in some of this.
Because in the remake, it's David Tennant, but he doesn't
Yeah.
play a horror host. He's like a magician.
Right.
Yeah,
It's- they modernized it, and they did a good job with the remake.
I liked
thought,
it.
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
Colin Farrell
and Anton
Yelkin, who passed
Yelkin,
away way too early. Yeah. All right, so John's number 5 is Fright Night. Larry's going to get the name of that guy by the time we get to our number 2s.
Come on, Lou.
It's Billy Cole.
Billy Cole.
He's the personal bodyguard of Jerry Dandridge, played by.
Who was the mother?
Oh, she was somebody too.
Yeah, crap. Now I can't remember who the mother was.
Bonnie Bedelia?
No,
goddamn
not
it.
that hot. It's because it's been so long since I've seen the movie, but it's still fun.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check. 2 movies in a row I haven't seen. I'm embarrassing myself out of this.
Played by Jonathan Stark.
That rings a bell.
Yeah,
I don't know that.
Wow, I have no clue who the fuck that is.
He's good though.
All right.
Oh,
Stark.
that's right. He was Charlie in House 2.
Wasn't
I was telling you
Stark-
about.
House 2. I've only seen House 1.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
that's the other thing
I
I
saw
know
all
him
4
from.
of them.
Holy
He's just a funny guy. That's the
Wasn't
other
Stark the
thing.
name of James Mason?
Oh yeah,
Barbo's keeper's
and-
name was Stark.
Yeah, Stark. That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
so look at that. We got a tie between the two here.
Yeah.
We go back from Fright Night back to Salem's Lot. Okay, Lloyd, number 5. What do you
All
got?
right, I'm going to call an audible here.
You don't want to say Fright Night?
Omaha.
I'm not going to say Friday Night, and I don't think this one's going to be picked. I don't really know. There's no vampires in this movie.
Okay.
There is one, actually. His name is Count Orlok is in this movie. But he's not what the movie's about. 1988, Vampire's Kiss with Nick Cage.
Is that the one where he eats a bug?
Oh God.
Oh, yeah, he eats a cockroach. Yeah.
Wow.
Twice. Yeah.
So, but wait, there's no vampires in this movie? or?
I'm bringing it up just to bring it here to the table and not have something that everyone else is talking
No, that's
about.
fine.
I
That's fine.
don't hate it, so I'm not going to hit you. But
Yeah, no,
should
this is
anyway.
where Nick Cage. This is the movie that made Nick Cage who he is. He figured it all out on this as far as what kind of quirky, weird ass method acting he's gonna do. You've never seen Vampire's Kiss?
We're 3 for 3 with me. I've never seen any of these 3 movies.
well, I probably got two more on my list that you've never seen.
He plays a very a lonely, desperate man, and he takes it out on everybody. Not everybody. Alva, his secretary, let's say. He's just a fucking. He's the worst horrible boss ever in this movie.
I haven't seen that one. in
Thankfully,
so
Jennifer
long.
Beals is in it. So.
Jennifer Beals.
Oh.
Yeah. So there are no. A bat attacks him in his house while he's having sex with someone he picked up. And then
These things happen.
Yeah.
and then the next day he
I
goes.
call that Tuesday.
He goes to a club
gonna call
and he picks
now.
up Jennifer Beals and brings her home. And he imagines that she bites him and turns him into a vampire. So he kind of spends the whole rest of the movie turning into the vampire where he's really not. He even goes in by his teeth, and it's very dark and it's very funny at times.
And he eats a cockroach.
It's darkly funny.
Which I do remember.
Very darkly funny.
I remember reading an interview with him or seeing an interview with him where he talks about how he had to eat like 5 or 6 cockroaches to get that take right.
I think it was 2, and he
Was it
actually
2?
did them both on screen.
And he named his son Kal-El.
He did. And he had to sell all of his comic books to sell to the U.S. government for his taxes.
And it's also interspersed with some pretty good, like he's seeing a psychiatrist as well. And especially at the end when all this shit is going down, and it's kind of like juxtaposed with him talking to his psychiatrist, but he's not really talking to her. He's talking to a pole outside, but he's playing it out. Oh, it's just
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I've never seen the movie. I only know it as the movie he eats the cockroach in, and you've actually made me interested in this movie. So
it's worth seeing kind of the birth of Nick Cage.
All right.
And it's his favorite movie, by the way, that he's ever done.
Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't Peggy Sue Got Married where he has that terrible fucking voice.
Well, he does do a good accent in this as well. Because it's so dark, he puts on an accent when he's talking down to people, like this person, Alva. It's the way he talks is kind of like this fake aristocratic sort of accent.
Right.
But you couldn't really buy the character because he's so fucking mean. You wouldn't be able to buy the character if he was just talking straight.
So Larry, where is your blood boil range right now where Lloyd added a non-vampire movie to a top 5 vampire movie list?
No, that's okay.
You're okay with it?
I'm okay with it.
All right.
Let me tell you, he puts on a pair of plastic teeth and rips a girl's neck open.
Okay, all right. So that's close enough.
He's almost a vampire.
My number 5 is going to might rackle some feathers and might go, but it is it's a favorite movie of mine in the last couple of years, and I think it's one of my favorite vampire movies of all time. It just doesn't fit the milieu or what most people think of as a vampire movie. It is a film out of New Zealand. It is called What We Do in the Shadows.
Okay.
Just tell my honorable mentions.
What We Do in the Shadows
Not on mine.
is a comedy about 4 vampires. 3 kind of one's a dandy, one is one's kind of like a very Dracula character. The other one's kind of a maybe 1700s British guy. And then a complete Nosferatu lives in the basement.
House meeting.
He's like
House
8,000
meeting.
years old.
8,000-year-old guy named Peter, and it's about
house
4
meeting.
We're having a flat meeting.
We're having a flat meeting in 10 minutes. It's a comedy from Taika Waititi, the guy who brought you Thor Ragnarok, and whose new movie looks really good, which is all about a little boy growing up in Nazi Germany whose imaginary friend is Hitler, played by Taika Waititi. Yeah. It's called Jojo Rabbit. It looks weird as shit, but he brought you Thor Ragnarok, and so What We Do in the Shadows is basically a fantastic 4 vampires living together in modern day New Zealand, and it follows all the tropes of a vampire movie. There's a vampire hunter. There is a guy they turn who is becoming a vampire and learning from them. And it's interspersed with some incredible comedy. They have a
You like biscotti? Eat your biscotti.
Biscotti. This was a movie a couple years ago.
I didn't know you liked worms.
This is a movie a couple years ago that I think it was on Amazon Prime, and I said to Lindsay, let's watch it one night, and I expected nothing, and we watched it again, the next day. We were laughing so hard.
Same here.
The biscotti joke has been a joke in our house for 3 years now. We talk about spaghetti. It's like, would you like some biscotti?
We're werewolves, not swearwolves.
We're werewolves, not swearwolves.
I honestly think the TV show is much better.
The TV show is fantastic. I've only seen a couple episodes. Different cast, but the same situation, except they're on Long Island.
It's all part of the same universe.
Bats! The one guy, every time he turns to a bat, has to yell out bat. It is a fantastic movie. Again, the movie itself, despite being a comedy, does hit all of the notes of a vampire movie.
Other than Jermaine Clement, do you know anybody in this film?
Taika Waititi, and I don't know the third guy.
Did you say Tiger Woods titty?
Tiger Woods titties.
Those are my favorites.
Jermaine Clement, Tiger Woods titties. No, but that's my number 5. I think this is a fantastic movie.
It's fun.
It's totally funny. Yeah. It's fun. And it's different. I mean, that's one of the things, it's a little bit different than a lot of what, the standard vampire fare.
Sure.
Agreed.
Larry, number 4.
Numero 4 is a movie that came out in 2011, and I discovered it as it was sent to me to review for Horror News Network. Never really made a splash, never really got big, unfortunately, because I think it's a brilliant film. It's called Midnight Sun. It's about a security guard, probably early 20s, who can only work the night shift because he's got some kind of skin condition where he cannot be in the sun. There's scenes where he's seeing his doctor because he says he's not feeling well. His doctor says he has an iron deficiency. One day he's at the butcher, decides to buy some blood and put it in a Starbucks cup and start drinking it. He starts thinking that he might be a vampire and meets a guy at the hospital who will sneak him blood for money. Ends up falling in love with this girl who is a cokehead, and then from there they get into some hijinks together, and we find out whether he's a real vampire or not.
Midnight Sun.
Midnight Sun.
Who's in this?
Nobody.
Nobody.
The main character is played by Zach Kilberg, plays Jacob, and it's directed by Scott Leberett, who directed nothing else, but was director of visual arts on Percy Jackson, Sleepy Hollow, Flubber, Spawn. He's an art guy.
I want to say I've seen this.
It's like I've never seen it anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you can buy it on Amazon.
Yeah.
But it made its way into one of my favorites back then, and it's always stayed there.
Yeah, I was gonna say for you, I mean, even though we said before, like the list can always change.
I didn't do it.
For it to any point to end up on your list at all must mean
it's anytime I'm talking vampire films with somebody, I always recommend it. I always a friend Adrian is a big vampire fan, and I made him buy it. I was like, just go on Amazon right now and buy it. And based on my recommendation, he bought it. He's just like, that's a great movie. Like, it's like, I'm surprised nothing ever happened. Didn't happen for that film.
all right. Midnight Sun, check it out. I'm gonna check it out.
I wrote it down.
Yeah. All right, John. 4.
I'm going to go easy because the next few films are a little bit more attuned to me, but Near Dark.
Yeah.
It's got to be on pretty much everybody's list here, I'm sure.
It's on my list.
It's on my list.
It's on my honorable mentions.
Really?
Yeah.
I watched it last night.
I love
me
Near
too.
Dark.
My
Anything-
number 5 was between Salem's Lot and Near Dark.
Yeah, anything Lance Henriksen's in that's just...
That dude, man.
Yeah, but
I'm surprised he's
Yeah,
not an
Paxton.
actual
Fucking-
vampire.
Yeah. Right.
Paxton
the cast
for me
is
is
awesome.
the-
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Jenny
What was-
Wright.
yeah.
What was Paxton? Severin.
Severin,
yeah.
He
Severin.
was fucking brutal, man.
Yeah.
I think that's his best film.
Paxton?
Yeah.
You know he's been in like a Alien.
I don't mean the movie itself. I mean his acting.
Okay.
He was fantastic in that.
It's great. It's got a great cast.
He was
it's
so
a great
crazy in that
story.
bar scene.
He was
Yeah.
nuts. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, when you think about it, it was totally different from any other vampire movie that came out at the time.
It is
So-
such a incredibly simple story too.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's literally
Do you know how it came about? What's her name?
Catherine Bigelow was dating James Cameron. Eventually married him.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, her and her writing partner, Eric Red, pitched a vampire movie to a studio, and studio's like, vampire movies don't,
They
not
don't
really.
make any money.
No, I'm sorry, my bad. She pitched a Western.
Oh.
And they were like, yeah, that not really doing very well. This was right at the time of Lost Boys and everything, so they rewrote it as like a vampire Western.
Which
And they were
absolutely
like-
it is.
Yeah, it
Absolutely.
really
And they were
Yeah.
like, bing, we'll fucking fund this, and
Yeah.
that's it. And that's how it happened.
And
then she went on to direct Point Break. God,
Point Break.
God
and-
bless her.
I mean, then later in her career, Hurt Locker and
Yeah,
Zero
Hurt
Dark 30, and she's
James Cameron has a role in
he flipped Severin off.
flipped
in
Severin
this.
off,
It's James
yeah.
Cameron, yeah.
Yeah.
she's been very busy lately.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
no, and this movie is fantastic. And again, the aliens connection was when she wanted to get the movie made. I was reading about this. She wanted to get the movie made. She's dating James Cameron. He just said, "Well, I just finished Aliens. Just use some of these people."
my people.
Yeah. But here's the funny part. I read 2 different stories, and one of them I honestly hope isn't true. So her initial thing was that she hired Jeanette Goldstein, who played Vasquez, and she hired Bill Paxton, who played Hudson. Initially, for the main role, the Jesse role, she wanted Michael Biehn. And one of the things I read said that he passed up on it because he thought the script didn't make enough sense. And the other one just said he didn't like the script. I pray that it was didn't like the script because this script is fairly fucking straightforward.
right.
I hope Michael Biehn isn't that stupid.
The only thing with the transfusion, maybe he didn't like.
I love that. I loved. Here's a movie that, like, usually when you get a vampire movie, a lot of times it'll end in, either the character dies or there really isn't much. You can't be let go of this curse. And this is a movie where the two characters that you like the most, he's not a shitbag. She's been turned and she's murdered people, but she's still in some kind of redemptive area. They both get saved. And then the third thing that I had completely forgotten about, because I've seen this movie probably 3 times prior, and I own the Blu-ray, is that the great Tim Thomerson is his fucking father.
Oh, right.
Lloyd.
Yeah.
Lloyd.
Yeah. Lloyd.
I had forgotten totally that he was in this. He's the father. So Adrian Pasdar, who became famous years later for Heroes and a few other TV shows, Prophet, is the main character.
That scene where he meets Jenny Wright, May,
in the beginning,
oh man, she is just beautiful.
You wanted to lick her ice cream cone, didn't you?
She's
Wow. Okay.
And he's very rapey.
And I'm not a blonde.
And he's very rapey too, by the way.
Who,
because
Adrian?
Because
Manster?
Really?
not Manster.
He's only got the Willie Ames shirt on.
Well,
he's not rat rapey.
The whole reason he ends up getting turned to a vampire is because he's driving her home.
He just wants a kiss.
He takes the key out of the car and he's like, she's panicked already because she's not telling him I'm about to burn to death.
Right.
He's like, you want to go home? He's like, give me a kiss. I'm like, wow, this dude kind of deserves it.
That's not rapey.
That's a little rapey.
That's a little rapey.
That's a little rapey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he ends up being
Lloyd's from a different era.
It's from the Joe Spinell school.
All right. So John's number 4 was Near Dark Void.
And you mentioned what's her name? Jeanette Goldstein.
Jeanette Goldstein.
She's like a chameleon.
Yes, she is.
She can just totally change from one movie to another.
Yeah, she plays Diamondback.
Yeah, Diamondback. I like the way she's leaning over with her head cocked.
I'm Diamondback.
I'm Diamondback.
Yeah, they've all got real. I'm Homer. I'm Jesse. I'm Diamondback. All right, Lloyd, what's your number 4?
Oh, it's me. Everybody's taking my movies, so
Not yet.
well,
Keep your
I'm
list.
gonna go with Nosferatu then.
Which one?
Here's where I'm gonna cheat a little.
You've already cheated a lot.
No, I haven't.
The Pornhub one.
Right?
Yeah, the one on Pornhub. The original. And then the 79 Klaus Kinski version inspired by the original.
Okay.
With the actual character names because they didn't have the rights for the original.
No Orlok.
No Orlok, he's Dracula. Klaus. Although they do switch the Mina character.
I've never seen, again, we're like 7 movies in. I've never seen half of these movies.
You didn't see, well, you've seen Nosferatu, the original, right?
Never. I got to be honest. I think one of the reasons I've never seen
Max
Nosferatu,
Schreck,
the original or the remake, is because that Nosferatu visage of a vampire scares the fuck out of me.
It's
It
fucking
should.
scary.
Like when Larry just showed his tattoo
silent,
before, I was like, I don't want to look at that.
It's a silent film, and I think if that film had sound back in 1922, would have scared some people.
It's the long fingers, it's the pointy ears, it's the whole ratty type
the shadows,
thing. It was great. Fuck that.
The wide eyes, and as a matter of fact, going back to Vampire's Kiss, he based his whole portrayal on Nosferatu.
Okay.
If you're watching Vampire's Kiss and you see him walking like through like a club and stuff, he's got his shoulders hunched up, he's got his eyes real wide, he's got his head cocked.
That's cocaine.
Just like Nosferatu.
Some producer somewhere is going to hear this and going to go, "Oh, someone really liked Vampire's Kiss."
It's that Vampire's Kiss is like the definition of a cult classic movie.
That means you got to play it, Larry.
I'm not sure about that.
It
It has to be popular within a certain group of people.
Well, I do think this is. I've heard enough about that to agree with that.
I don't know.
So, what would you say?
So,
you like
I don't
one
know
more
any
than the other?
cult of vampires.
Nosferatu. So the original is so creepy and so good, and the lighting. And I've got a nice the Kino restorated
Kino Lorber,
yeah version. And then you got the '79 version, which is actually called Nosferatu the Vampire.
Vampire.
And it's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close to the original Nosferatu with Klaus Kinski, who's very
weird,
he's almost timid.
Well, he's
the way he talks, and it's a very you've got a cut. It's not
right.
He doesn't feel.
Get stabbed with a paperclip and bled out.
Yeah. But he moves really quickly right on you, and it's very good. Yeah, I think I like the original better, but I just wanted to mention that one.
All right. So Lloyd's number 4. Stop changing. If you have a movie that we have, don't change it. Just we can talk about it. I'm going to go my number 4. Let's see here. I'll make this quick because we did a Pint Movie Invitational about it, so I don't have to talk about it too much more. Blade. I love Blade.
I knew it was coming.
I love Blade. I'm
fine.
sorry.
Yep.
It's on the action movie spectrum of the vampire
But
stories.
it's a vampire movie.
Honorable mention, I do.
Daywalker.
Yeah, Daywalker. I do love Blade 2. I think Blade 2 is more of horror-y because
I
it's
don't
got
know if
those.
I saw that.
Really?
So I just
Yeah,
saw
I
Blade
saw
2
one.
this week.
Blade 2 has the vampires with like the fucking the mouths, the reapers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see it.
Ron Perlman's in it. It's more of a horror-y type vampire than the
Yeah.
Steven Dorff,
I
Backstreet Boy
I
vampire.
enjoyed the first one. It was
Yeah.
good.
I like Blade 2 a lot.
Yeah.
love
I
Steven
just saw it
Dorff,
for the
though.
first time this week.
Did you really?
And it's on my list.
Okay.
My 10 list.
Yeah,
anyway.
Blade 2 is an honorable mention for me. But so if you want to go back, I think it was like episode 72. You could hear me and John with the Rich Smith robot talking about Blade. That's all I'll say about that. But I've just always loved that movie. So my number 4 is Blade. Larry, back to you for number 3. Get that fucking popcorn down.
Yeah, mouthful of popcorn. Number 3, another newer one. This was actually every year for the site. I do a list of top movies of the year.
Yes,
This
I've read
was-
that a few times.
This was my my top movie of 2017. It's called The Transfiguration.
I remember reading that, and I remember wanting to see that, and I've just never come across it.
Yeah, it's really a great. It's another one. It's funny. I was gonna say it's another one like Midnight Sun. There's a clip in The Transfiguration where they use a clip from Midnight Sun. It's about this black kid Milo who lives in projects somewhere in New York. It starts off with him. He's in a bathroom. He just cut some fucking guy with a razor blade and he's sucking blood out of his neck.
Alrighty.
Another one, you don't know if he's a vampire. He loves vampires. Over his TV, he's got videotapes upon videotapes of handwritten fucking movie titles. He's got Fright Night up there. He's got everything, like all the vampire movies. He loves vampires. But you could tell that he's not really with it. There's a scene where he's in school and his guidance counselor's talking to him. She's like, "Are you still harming animals?" He's like, No, I don't. He's like, "I think about it sometimes, but I don't do that anymore." He'd found his mother. His mother had killed herself, and he's the one who found her. And now he lives with just his brother, who is a war vet with post-traumatic stress disorder. So his whole life is a fucking mess. And this dude thinks he's a vampire. And imagine trying to be a teenage vampire in the ghetto. You're going to get picked on. You're going to get bullied. So he's bullied like crazy. Finally meets a girl. Some young girl moves into his building, and they start hanging out and stuff like that. And he doesn't try to kill her, which is nice.
That's a plus.
Yeah. It's actually
Now, John, you said you're going on a date tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Remember that.
It's,
Don't try to kill her.
Oh, thanks.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Chloe Levine from The Ranger and Depraved. She's kind of an up-and-coming actress, but she does a great job as kind of Milo's girlfriend. And then towards the end, he decides to try anyway, and we find out whether he was a real vampire.
I like how so far now we've gone around twice generally, and we have, let's say like we're 7 movies in. 3 of the 7 movies one's definitely not a vampire.
Yeah.
And the 2 you brought up are, well, you're leaving it ambiguous. That's great for people that want to check them out.
I'm assuming
are possibly
I'm not trying to be douchey, but I'm assuming most people who listen probably haven't seen it.
no, like the movies we talk
not
about, like
seen it.
Near Dark and Blade. If we throw spoilers out for that stuff, then you just got to catch up a little bit. But stuff like that, I'm fine with it. But that's what I like about it is that you've had 2 movies in a row now where it's like, well, was this character a vampire or not?
Right.
I find that interesting.
Well, as you've probably already seen for the top 3, my favorite vampire films are ones that are a little different. I'm not, the cape and the long teeth, like that's great and it has its place, but I like the stories of these a little bit more. And actually, my number 2 will explain that a little more as well.
All right, John, number 3.
Well, again, since we're not going in any particular order with those 4, I'm going to go with the classic.
Yeah.
Going all the way back to 58 with Horror of Dracula.
Horror of Dracula.
Is this a Hammer horror movie?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I tried to find
maybe
that
the
this
best.
week, and I could not find it
Probably
anywhere.
the best Dracula.
From Hammer,
Hammer,
yeah. It's not.
Chris Lee at his best.
Yeah, it's the classic Dracula stuff too. So you got Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, and the whole lineup of all the characters in there, and it's a lot of fun. It's Hammer, not necessarily their biggest budget, but definitely really went into the period piece that they loved to do back then. So
we talked a little bit off the air before we recorded about DVDs or movies that you've purchased you've never watched. You said Harlem Nights and Untouchables, and I said Gangs of New York. I own that, and I've never watched that.
Oh, it's
I
good.
bought it
You own
years
it?
ago. I think at like a Best Buy for like $7. It's in one of those cardboard snap open DVD places that they haven't made in like.
That's what my Harlem Nights is in.
Yeah. So now I'm glad that you say that, because now I wanted to watch it anyway, but now it gives me more impetus to just throw it in
it's
now.
very good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah,
It really
definitely.
is.
I don't remember watching that. I think I
You
watched
have.
it much younger, but I
Yeah.
don't remember the film. So I seeked it out. I couldn't find it. I went to the library for DVDs, all the streaming services.
Yeah. These days.
And I just couldn't find
The
it.
Hammer stuff is tough to find. Because at one point we were talking about doing, like after the Universal Horror stuff, we were talking about maybe doing the Hammer stuff. And I was looking into it, and it was streaming stuff I couldn't find. And then when I was looking on Amazon, there was box sets you could buy, but they were in no discernible, like, there wasn't like the Universal one was like, okay, these are 8 of our most popular movies here. Hammer ones were like, okay, this is the shittiest werewolf one, and this is a pretty good Frankenstein, but it's 5th in the series. So it seems like they don't really have a lot of
it has to do with distribution rights.
Yeah.
So it's tough with the Hammer stuff, especially after they collapsed 3 times.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's a great one. It's a lot of fun to watch Lee and Cushing in one of their earliest roles together.
All right, Lloyd, what do you got for number 3? Or is this 2, 3, whatever?
I think we're on 3.
Yeah.
The only one I have left that hasn't been mentioned is my number 1. So
Okay.
I guess I'll just save it. Or
Yeah, well, we'll go ahead with your
save it.
3, and then we'll get your number 1.
so my 3 is What We Do in the Shadows.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Yep.
I'm glad somebody else was there with me on that.
It's a good film. It's
It's
just
on my honorable
I love
mention.
it. The first time I saw it, you recommended it to me, and I went and watched it. And I think I saw you the next day. I'm like, that movie's my favorite movie. I
It's
love it.
it's
The
so good.
second I saw it, I was like, I got to watch this again.
Jermaine Clement, who I love from Flight of the Conchords. I love
Yeah,
that show.
yeah.
I love the band. I saw
Yeah.
them live one time. They're hilarious, and Taika Waititi together, just fantastic. And it truly is. It's just it's very funny. And again, that I've got to finish it, but that FX show, which
it's a good show.
benefits from them writing and working on it. It's not like, okay, we're done with it and someone else took it over.
it's they.
It's them.
Yeah, they're
it's them
overseeing
again.
everything.
Doug
yeah.
Jones is in it.
That's
Yeah.
right, Doug
Yeah.
Jones.
It's fun.
What a funny movie. All right, so my number, let's see, I did
3.
number 3. Okay, I'll just throw it out there to push it out. Near Dark. Yeah, it really Western vampire, great characters.
Driving around in a car that's got all the windows darked out.
They're spray painting the windows.
Yeah.
They're spray painting the windows.
I mean, the first time I saw that, it was like, oh, that's really smart.
Yeah.
Especially
The whole
when you're-
bar scene where
Yeah.
they terrorize that
That's
bar.
that's one of the best scenes in
Yeah.
any horror.
Yeah.
Film. For me, that's just
Yeah,
a great
yeah.
scene.
Severin kills the bartender with the spurs. And this is something I wanted to mention. I didn't say it during your thing, but what makes this movie really unique for vampire movies is, and I don't think I ever really noticed it or put it together until I watched it last night. There's no fangs.
Right.
Their faces don't change.
Right.
It's almost like they're just
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
They're really cool, man.
They get shot, they heal. They're definitely vampires. But unlike, like you think about 90% of the vampire movies nowadays, when someone turns to a vampire, their forehead becomes Klingon.
Yeah.
They get the
Yeah.
fangs. Their eyes turn red. Some of my more favorite movies are like that.
Lost Boys.
In this movie, there is not one scene where you even see fangs in
And
it.
I love how Jesse he just sits back and watches it. You
Yeah.
know, he makes a comment here and there.
There's the one little throwaway line when they're Severin and Jesse are lighting the RV on fire in the beginning.
Yeah.
And Severin says, "You remember when we set that fire in Chicago?" It's like just little stuff like that to make you realize how old these guys are. And there's another line later on where someone says something to Jesse about how old he is, and he said, "I fought for the South."
Right.
And we lost.
Right.
All right, Larry, what do you got for your numero? Your 2, right?
Number
two.
2, yeah. Keeping with my theme of vampires who might not be vampires. This is one I saw in the drive-in when I was a kid, probably 6 years old or so. Martin, George Romero's Martin.
Never seen this one either. Holy shit! I can't believe.
Yeah, that's that. You want to talk about gritty 70s films with just kind of uncomfortable feels. Martin starts off with the lead, Martin, played by John Amplis, who was
We talked about on the Day of the Dead episode.
he's the doctor there,
the doctor.
with the glasses.
Yep.
It was his first film, actually. I think it was his first film. Anyway, he's on a train, and back then trains, especially long trains, had like little bedroom cars and everything like that. And he sees a pretty woman, sneaks into her car, and injects her with some kind of shit that makes her go to sleep. And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, it'll be okay. Everything will be okay." And then fucking cuts her wrist and drinks the blood and lets her bleed out. And it's just a really good start for a film.
It's a really good start.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, he's the reason he's on the train is because I believe it was his mom had just died. I haven't seen it in forever, but his mom had just died, I think, and he was going across the country to live with his uncle, who looks a lot like Colonel Sanders. He's got the full white fucking suit, vest, the whole fucking thing, white beard. I'm
Hey,
like,
Martin,
"God damn."
how you like my chicken?
I'm like, he's moving in with Colonel Sanders. But Colonel Sanders, his fucking uncle, is crazy and thinks that Martin's a vampire and refers to him as Nosferatu through the whole fucking movie. And he's like, "Don't talk to anybody in my house. You can live with me, but don't talk to anybody." And he's got like garlic and he's trying to fucking shove crosses at him. Martin's like, "Stop fucking around. There's no magic. None of this is magic." But he's really fucking crazy and he's going around killing people and drinking their blood.
That's another one I tried to find this week.
Yeah.
No luck.
I don't know if I ever saw it. I know of it, but I don't know if I ever
It's
saw
George Romero's favorite movie of his. Well, yeah. Whenever he was asked what his favorite movie of his catalog was, it's Martin. And he's got a pretty big role in it as a priest too, which is fun.
I do remember reading, I think it was your review of Transfiguration.
Yep.
That said it was kind of like not a remake, but kind of like like an uptelling of a similar story.
Yeah. It's very similar, and that I believe Martin is one of the films on Milo's fucking shelf of movies in the Transfiguration.
Okay.
As well.
Larry is
Actually, I think he mentions it. There's a scene in the Transfiguration where he's talking to that girl who moved in about vampire films, and he's like, I like films that are like real, like seem like real life, like Martin. He brings up. He's like, "I don't like shit like Twilight. That's not real life."
Right.
I was like, "Good for you, Milo."
Lloyd's very nervous now to talk about his number one.
Right.
See,
Sparkly
Lloyd's over
vampires.
there with his Willie Ames shirt. Like,
I really like New Moon Part 1.
I've never seen Twilight at all.
I saw.
I've seen them. I've seen all of them.
I've seen the first one, and not to be the guy who gangs up on something people gang up on. Because fandom is fandom, and people can enjoy what they want. I certainly didn't get it.
Yeah.
I certainly did not get it, and it just didn't work.
I've seen scenes like in the house, kids watching it.
If you've
Not interested.
never seen Steve Bissett's reviews of the Twilight films and how he perceives them, it's fantastic reading. Just
because he liked them, right? Like
he doesn't like them so much. He appreciates what they are.
Right.
And they're awful films, but he goes, what they're attaining to and the audience that they're drawing in is exactly what movies are trying to obtain to. And you have to read it because it's this hypersexualized thing that they're trying to sell to the teenagers, and it's awesome reading.
Okay, I'll check it out. All right, John, you're number 2.
All right, now went all the way back to 58. We're going to come back up to the late 80s, and we're going to go with a really crazy one. See if you can figure this one out.
All right.
Chris Makepeace in one of his last film roles.
I fucking love Chris Makepeace.
My Bodyguard.
My
right?
Bodyguard.
Yeah.
Chris Peach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Grace Jones, Vamp.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you've never seen Vamp, it's a fucking awesome 80s film. It is laid out.
I've seen it.
You know what's
great.
funny about you saying that is that when you said Vamp, I literally pictured like the VHS box.
Yeah?
Picture it on the shelf.
It's Grace Jones
Never
at her
seen
Grace
it.
Joniest. I mean,
Which is saying a lot for Grace Jones.
it is. I think Chris Makepeace stopped acting because of this movie because he ended up having sex with Grace Jones and got some crazy gooey STD from her. And he was like, "That's it, I'm done. Hollywood just keeps giving me STDs." I love Vamp. It's just so fucking 80s and fashion weird and Grace Joni.
You remember when Grace Jones made I think it was A View to a Kill, and she was dating Dolph Lundgren?
Oh God!
Like, what would the sex between those two look like? They're just
hardcore.
Just imagine the noise.
That's what I'm saying. She's like
Yeah, Grace.
the darkest black woman.
I
He's
have
like
the
this.
power.
He's like this. Yeah, this Swedish. Like, and they're both muscular. Like, I just picture them bumping into each other and just going, and then her eventually going.
Not actually putting anything into
Yeah, there's
it.
never any penetration. It's just them walking into each other naked, going, yes, yes.
I grab him.
I grab him.
take him. But you have to see it. It's just outrageous.
So is she the vampire in the
She
movie?
is the vampire, yeah. She is the vampire. And when she actually turns into the vampire, it's awesome. I mean, it's full-on long-ass fangs, crazy eyes, and she's in those ridiculous outfits that she designed, I think, for the movie herself. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that again.
I don't think she sings in this movie, if I remember right.
Yeah. Oh, man. Grace
But
Jones.
it's pretty crazy. And it was done when nobody was really doing vampire movies like that anymore. I mean, Lost Boys had come out a few years before that, and the whole interest in vampire films had faded because this movie tanked.
I'm going to have to check it out. Vamp.
Vamp.
I think this is a pretty good list show so far because there's not a lot of, like, so far very common things. You know?
Yeah, especially with these two here.
Yeah, these two here are definitely reaching.
Mine are definitely more
Wait till you get to
common.
my number one.
All right, what do you got for number 2, Manster?
Well, we think three of us already had this, Near Dark.
Yep. All right, so Near Dark is closer to the top for you.
Yep.
Again, fantastic movie. I'm trying to think of anything else we didn't really cover.
When this movie came out, I don't think it was that popular, and I
No,
I
it
kind
tanked.
of felt
It hit big.
I felt
in
for
the
a while
rental
that
market,
people
yeah.
didn't know about it, and
Yeah.
I kind of like held it, to
It
my own.
came out the same
but-
year as Lost Boys. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's going to happen?
Well, yeah,
One
'cause
of
there's-
those is going to fucking rise to the
There's
top.
no
gonna-
Jason Patrick.
Right.
It's gonna
No
get
Kiefer
tanked.
Sutherland.
Right.
Because Lost Boys was a hit.
Yeah.
It
Think
made a lot of
think
money.
about Kiefer Sutherland's gang. Those are all some good-looking
Yeah.
fucking dudes.
Alex
yeah.
Winter.
So that's what all the girls
Yeah.
wanted to see.
Yeah.
Plus Jason Patrick.
Oh, and Jamie Gertz.
Yeah, Jamie Gertz.
Yeah, I got stuff to say about Jamie Gertz.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so.
Oh, and the saxophone guy.
And I still believe.
Ever show
Not
you,
a fan of Lost
did I
Boys.
ever show you the pictures of me and that guy?
Yes, you did.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that guy.
I did see them. He looks older, but he still looks good.
He's still fucking, again, a lot better shape than I am.
yeah, he still look good.
You know, he was the sax player for like Tina
Tina
Turner
Turner
for
he's,
years.
he's in the We Don't Need Another Hero video.
We don't need
Yeah,
another hero.
And Edward
Yeah.
Herman.
And Edward Herman, yeah. So let's just go.
He's a fucking sweetheart of a
Let's
guy.
finish off with my number 2,
Is
which
it
is
Lost
funnily
Boys?
enough Lost Boys. I know.
Thank God we were there.
It's like saying the Yankees are your favorite baseball team. I get it.
No, that's all right.
I watched it today for the first time in a couple of years, and it is stylistically incredible. The point of view shots from the vampire stuff. The cast is great.
Yep.
You like the Frog Brothers?
The Frog Brothers are awesome. As a matter of fact, I wanted to say this real quick, and Larry might disagree with me heartily, but
Heartily.
a few years ago they came out with a Lost Boys direct-to-video sequel called The Tribe, which was like the first. It was garbage. Like a year or two later, they made a third one that was about the Frog Brothers. It has Corey Feldman. And I actually enjoyed that one. I don't know if you ever saw it or not.
No, I never saw it.
The first sequel, The Tribe, which had nobody from the original in it, it was just supposed to be
New people.
it was new people. I think Kiefer Sutherland's younger brother
oh, Jesus.
plays like the main vampire. It was garbage.
Joaquin Sutherland.
Yeah, Jimbo Sutherland. But then the next one, like 2 years later, they brought both Frog Brothers back, because Corey Feldman was, he had the long strand of hair in the front. And he was pretending to be
Had
Michael
a Michael Jackson fucking jacket on.
But it actually was a pretty good movie. I remember seeing it and thinking they were trying to make a Blade movie. It's like where they're vampire hunters and it's a little bit more that kind of movie. But the Lost Boys, I mean, you got fucking Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, Jason Patrick, which we talked about off air. Jason Patrick's brother, Joshua Miller, was the Homer in Near Dark.
Oh, that was him.
So it's just funny that they were in the two vampire films. Even though Near Dark, then if you said two vampire movies from '87, everybody would just go Lost Boys and what?
Yeah.
Now people do go, okay, Near Dark.
Now,
It's a
it.
cult classic.
Yeah.
People do know it now. But the Lost Boys, I don't know. I really enjoy it. It's a fun movie.
Don't forget Diane West.
Diane
Oh,
Wiest.
yeah.
And here's this is a movie.
I did Parenthood.
That's
I
right.
fucking
That's a
love
good
that
movie.
That's a
That's
great
one of my
movie.
favorites.
Keanu Reeves, early Keanu Reeves.
Jason Robards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked earlier, Joaquin Phoenix. I think
Yeah.
when he was still Leaf
Yes,
Phoenix.
Leaf.
Oh,
He was still
right.
Leaf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
One of the things about Lost Boys, I was probably about 11 or 12 when the movie came out. I went and saw it in the theaters. The soundtrack That
Oh,
was a
yeah,
soundtrack
that
that,
was
like,
huge.
I had that. I used to listen to it. I was a paperboy. I used to listen to it on my route. And watching the movie today, I was like, this is a pretty fucking solid soundtrack. You get some NXS in there. You get that with
Some Echo and the Bunnymen.
The People Are Strange, Echo and the Bunnymen. You get what is that one song they play over? Cry Little Sister.
Little Sister,
That thing is in there like 18 times. It's a solid movie. Kiefer Sutherland. Here's something I thought was funny. So, spoiler alert: Kiefer Sutherland plays David, the
I
kind of
don't,
like.
I don't think anybody listening has not seen.
No,
the
I
movie.
know.
I don't really.
I'm kidding. Kiefer
Lost
Sutherland
Boys,
plays.
never heard of it.
Plays David. You know he's bad because he's got spiked hair and a mullet.
100%.
He's got.
Andy rides a motorcycle.
He rides a motorcycle.
Yeah.
He's got this 5 o'clock shadow through the whole movie, right? At the end of the movie, he has a big fight with Jason Patrick's character, a big vampire fight. They're floating around the room, and Jason Patrick rams him into like a fucking ram or something, or some animal's giant
animal.
horns, and he dies. And then the head, who turns out to be the head vampire, Edward Herrmann, comes in and he grabs Kiefer Sutherland's corpse's face and rolls it over. And when Kiefer Sutherland's dead, he's clean shaven, because when you die as a vampire, you knew you were a vampire because you had a 5 o'clock shadow. Right. He doesn't have a 5 o'clock shadow. I'm like, was that a continuity error? Are they trying to say that like good boys don't look like that?
Oh, that was a good line from Bill Paxton
What was that?
in Near Dark. I hate it when they don't shave.
Oh yeah, when he goes to bite the guy's neck. Yeah. Oh, I hate it when they don't shave. That was another scene in Near Dark I thought was really great. Was in that bar scene. The silent victim is James LeGros. Who's been in a million things, but I think that might have been like an early. He doesn't have a line. He literally just runs away in fear. But he ended up being in Point Break. He was one of the ex-president bank robbers, and he's been in a million things since then. But it was just kind of funny to realize that this is probably his first role ever.
Yeah, it'd be.
So yeah, Lost Boys goes number 2 for me. Larry,
Good choice.
numero uno.
Numero uno. Well, this one really.
Will there be a vampire in Larry's first choice?
I never said there weren't vampires.
No,
in the
but
other
will there
ones.
be an obvious vampire?
Yes, there will be. And it is 2008's Let the Right One In. That is my favorite vampire movie of all time.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, it's very good.
I actually got to read the book before I saw the movie. Somebody had said, you need to see this movie, and I was like, never heard of it. And it was friend Stacy, and she let me borrow the book. She's like, read the book first. And I completely fell in love with the book. The book's a lot more gory, a lot more horror. Apparently, the director who worked on it didn't really know how to make a horror movie. So he stuck more to the love story between Ellie and Oscar.
Yeah.
Which is why that's kind of what you got. With some gore thrown in. I mean, he didn't dismiss
There's
the horror.
enough gore in it, I think.
Yeah, but
There's
the
enough,
Book, the
but-
book is a lot more.
But like, if you think about that movie, there's the one scene that might be like almost like what would be considered like the goriest kill scene in the movie is all taking place while he's underwater at the end.
Yes.
Right? Like you
So you don't really see.
you don't see
You
anything.
see like a head drop into the water, and you know, it's it's a good scene. It's a powerful scene.
Yeah.
And you see her old protector there try to kill himself.
Yeah.
Other than that, you don't really
The woman who like I haven't seen that in a while, but the woman who like fucking goes up in flames in bed, right? Because
because the sunlight hits.
the sunlight hits her, right?
Yeah, pretty gnarly scene there.
Yeah.
That's just that's a favorite of mine.
Have you ever seen? I've never seen. I've seen that, and I love that. It's honorable mention for me. I struggled with that in the Shadows, and I just like Shadows is a little bit different. But have you ever seen the American Let Me In?
I have.
Good or no?
It's almost a shot-for-shot remake.
Okay.
Which I question why you ever
why
would do
do
a
it?
shot-for-shot remake.
Except without the
they made a couple
vampire
changes.
vagina.
Yeah, except
Yeah.
without that. They changed the way that the original caretaker tried to kill himself. They tried to kill himself with a car accident in the Let Me In. So they made a couple changes for no real reason. Other than that, they basically remade the movie so you didn't have to watch subtitles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not, and I love Chloe Moretz. Chloe Moretz, I think she's fucking fantastic. I think she makes some bad film choices, but I think she's actually a really good actress.
Right.
She was fine in it. I just question the reason of doing it. But speaking
Americans
of
are
subtitles,
lazy.
if you don't have the movie and you've never seen the movie, be sure that the copy that you're going to watch has the theatrical subtitles. There's 2 copies out there, one with subtitles that were done for the DVD release and one that are actually the theatrical. The ones done for the DVD release are all fucked up. They're like, it's not what they're actually saying.
Really?
Yeah. It's like it was like a big mess like 10 years ago.
Really?
People were like returning their shit. They're like, we don't want.
I would hope at this point it's been.
I would hope it is.
recalled
I don't know. I know the version I have has the theatrical, and that's the one you want to watch.
I bought a Blu-ray years ago of the Danny Boyle movie Sunshine. You ever see that?
No.
It's the outer space one with Cillian Murphy about the sun's going to go out. It's a good movie. I always liked it. I bought it, and at the time, my only Blu-ray player was a PS3, and every copy of Sunshine wouldn't work on a PS3. So like they sent this whole thing out. If you had it, send us the number. They sent you another copy, and they let you keep the old one and everything. But like I'm trying to watch it one night, nothing's going on. I'm like, what the fuck? Next day I try it again, and I just happen to go on Google and go Sunshine. As soon as I type in Sunshine, it goes
Not
Blu-ray
working.
PS3 not working, and then it had a link to go. Yeah, it does not work on a PS3.
Jesus.
So yeah, sometimes that shit happens.
Oh, actually, that's not my number one. My number one is Once Bitten with Jim Carrey.
with the what are you gonna do? Bring 4 friends?
Yeah,
He brings
yeah.
the glove.
I asked my friend Tony Goncalves at work today what his favorite vampire movie is, and the dude doesn't like horror at all. And he's like, "Oh, it's definitely Once Bitten." I'm like, "All right, conversation's over. Have a good day."
Cleavon Little.
But I told him I would say it.
There you go.
There it is.
I'll be totally honest. As a kid, I used to watch that was on HBO all the time.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to bang Lauren Hutton so bad as a kid.
That's understandable.
Yeah, like she was fucking smoking hot with that gap in her teeth. Yeah.
However, not a good movie.
No. But it was the first thing that, like, if you really think about it, you kind of think you met Jim Carrey in Living Color, and then you're like, that's the dude from Once Bitten.
Yes, it is.
It's weird. All right, before we get to John and his number one, I wanted to bring something. I want to go back to my my last choice, Lost Boys, and just say,
Take me back.
I just want to bring this up.
You want to hump her leg?
I feel like I slept on the Jamie Gertz thing in the 80s. I'm not saying I ever thought that she wasn't good looking, but
Square pegs.
upon rewatching Lost Boys today, man, she's pretty good looking, man. She's pretty hot. Do you agree, Lloyd?
Yeah, I would agree. For a while. For a little while.
Oh, square.
Yeah,
pegs.
she's got like that real kind of.
Dude, she still looked good in Twister.
You're right. That was her. I forgot that was her in Twister.
Yeah.
She plays the new.
She was the new,
new girlfriend.
The new Paxton girlfriend. Yeah.
Wow, and we tie that right back to Near Dark with a Paxton
Here
Twister.
we are.
Paxton just keeps twisting around the table.
Jamie Gertz.
It all comes back around.
All comes back to Bill Paxton. Rest in peace, man. What a fuck, man.
What a shame.
Fuck. If you've never seen Frailty, that was a great movie.
I was just gonna fucking say that.
Yeah.
I fucking love Frailty.
He's a really
That was
talented
what
dude.
him, Powers Booth. Who else? The fuck?
Fucking
Mikhail Gorbachev.
Mikhail Gorbachev, Marty McFly.
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers,
Michael Jordan.
Michael
Mitch
Jordan,
McConnell.
Mitch McConnell. No, I still can't say it. Matthew McConaughey.
There it is.
Matthew McConaughey.
There it is.
Hey.
All right. That's what I like about those high school girls, man. I get older,
They stay the same age.
Wow.
Love that guy.
Yeah, he really is. That's like the best character. I said that was on yesterday, and I said to Jen, I was like, dude, this is the best line in the whole movie. Watch. He says it, and she's like, "You're fucking sick." I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's not what he said. It's just how he said
It's
it.
how he says it, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's how he said
Say,
it.
man, you got a joint? You'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Wooderson.
Uh-huh.
All right, John, what is your number one vampire film?
Going back to Hammer Horror, always with the Christopher Lee, always with the Peter Cushing. Dracula, 1972.
That's a fucking winner.
Is this well, that can't be the first 72. That must have been along the line of those movies, right?
It is basically Dracula being brought back to life in 1972.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's, again, set in the modern day at that time. So it's a little bit weirder. It's a lot more fun. And he goes on a rampage against all his enemies, but all their ancestors.
Horror of Dracula is still my favorite Hammer.
I like 72 better.
When did the two come out in relation to each other?
58 and 72.
58. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember what you said 2 minutes ago.
He's got the Willie Ames shirt on.
Yeah.
There was something about 72. I don't know. As a kid, I really liked it because it was just.
I'm going to have to give it a rewatch. It's been a while.
It's cheesier. It's definitely cheesier because it is Hammer. And then it's modern. So it's away from their usual thing. They like doing those period pieces. You don't have those kind of outfits, but you get Dracula in his classic look, Christopher Lee in his classic Dracula look in 1972. So all the bad leisure suits and awful clothes and the big cars, and it's a lot of. I enjoyed it because it's weird like that. I don't know.
That watching the two of them trying to hand a pen off to each other.
amazing,
Just
right?
give me the fucking pen.
That was amazing.
It's like two monkeys trying to fuck a coconut.
in the middle.
Well, as John's talking,
It was way
as John,
fucking harder than it had to be.
as John's talking, he's pointing to Lloyd, wanting a pen across the table for him. Lloyd reaches to every item other than the pen.
The pen was in my hand.
Do you want my notebook? Do you want my phone?
Yeah.
Do you want my shirt? He starts unbuttoning his shirt.
He's gonna hand me the mixer.
He's got the mixer, handing it to him, and then it's in his hand. I point to the pen in his hand. He goes to hand it to Larry. They drop, make noise. That was awesome.
All that, and then I dropped the fucking thing.
Then he drops the
There you
pen.
Only with me.
But
That's great.
It's fun. Dracula 72.
I have a
It's
question.
also called Dracula AD.
Oh, okay, I've heard. Okay, I've heard of that title.
Yeah.
Now you're saying it's him being resurrected in the modern age. Does that mean that Peter Cushing plays like Van Helsing's like great grandson? All right, that's pretty cool. That's a cool idea.
It's pretty twisted and fun, and it's so much more enjoyable because of the setting, I think.
All right, I'm gonna check that out. Dracula
Yeah.
AD. I don't think this is gonna be number one on Lloyd's list because he was asking about it. So what is number one on the Mansters?
My number one is Let the Right One In.
Let the right one in.
yeah.
All right.
It's a good choice.
And what particularly did you like about that movie?
I do like the relationship between Oscar and Ellie. Eli,
yeah.
Ellie. And, it's just
You
weird.
want to just throw it on the table?
I'm not even gonna try to give him back the pen. You need it now? This is
No,
gonna be
I don't need it.
Here.
I just like
I
hold
want
it.
nothing more to do with it. It was a fucking nightmare.
You know,
Mostly
and
my
then,
fault. Mostly my fault.
The old man, out collecting blood out in the woods. I like the very first scene when he's got the guy strung up and he's got everything working out. And then, a poodle?
Yeah.
Big freaking toy poodle comes up and he's just looking at him. He's like flicking blood at it. Get out of here. And then he hears people coming.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
You got to love the setting though. I mean, it's Sweden,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's winter,
Perfect. Yeah.
and when he first runs into Ellie, she's outside in a
And no, like a
Whatever.
no
Well,
He
shoes on.
turns
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
and she appears like up on a
And
little monkey bar.
and
or
he's
something.
breathing away, and there's nothing coming from
Yeah.
her.
And isn't there a weird bit in that too? It's been a while
Says
since I've
you
seen
smell
it.
funny.
Where they infer that maybe she was a boy at some point.
Yeah.
Right? Because she's got like stitches down there or something, or
It's a mess down there.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
It's like horizontal.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't look good. If you
Yeah.
if you read the book, it tells you what.
And she
Okay.
says, "I'm not a boy."
I do. Well,
Or,
no,
she says, "I'm not a girl."
I'm not a girl, but that could
But
mean
that
she's a
doesn't mean-
vampire.
Yeah.
right.
But I remember it being kind of ambiguous as to whether it was like maybe at one point she was a boy and now whatever has
Yeah.
happened. Is that what the book kind of inferred?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't remember exactly, but I think that she was definitely a boy, and somebody had done that to her. Somebody had removed her.
Oh, jeez.
Somebody had removed his parts.
Wow.
His naughty bits.
Yeah, they don't go there at all in the movie.
No.
But I also like how she empowered him to sort of stand up for himself.
Yeah.
Right, 'cause
You're
he's
a
horribly
reader.
bullied.
You're a reader. You
Yeah,
should
I'm a
read
reader.
that book.
Yeah, I want that.
It's fantastic. It really is.
Just don't write the note down right now.
There's-
about it.
Don't write.
No,
it.
no pens right
No,
now.
he's got the pen. He's got the pen.
I'm fine.
He can write whatever he wants.
Lloyd, there's no book on Dracula 1972,
Now, I've read Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah, that's right.
but it wasn't
that.
1972.
No, not that one.
It was like 1872, right? 16.
You're probably right. That probably was the time.
No, I think it was earlier than that.
No, I was 18.
Was it? Well, no, I know, but like 1850
18 something.
something.
All right. My number one.
No, actually, no.
My number one
All right, the
here
literature people are screaming. God damn it!
has not been mentioned.
Dag nabbit.
1996, and I have a funny story going along with this
Oh,
movie. So
I
I'm
know-
going to tell
I know
the
what it
story.
is. I know what it
I'm going to
is.
tell the story before I tell. Before I tell the. And this is gonna get John.
Can I guess?
I think
You
we
can
all
guess-
know what it is.
You can get guess after I tell the story.
How about
I
I
know-
show you?
Can you give me all
You tell me.
verklempt?
I know
You
what
show
it
me.
is.
Verklempt.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. So this is
know
just
what it is.
this is just a humorous story to go along with it.
I'll say it.
It's got anything? No.
No, we're not going to talk about the movie yet. I'm going to tell you my funny story that's going to make
right.
John mad. He gets mad about stories like this, but I think it's still funny.
Great.
So this movie came out a week after the Cowboys won their last Super Bowl in 1995 season. So I went to a Super Bowl party to see that, to watch that Super Bowl, and everybody that was there was like 12 of us, got the flu the next week. So somebody there was sick.
Except you.
No. Oh no. No, that's
played
where this,
the Pittsburgh
that's
Steelers.
the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's where this story's going. So day after the Super Bowl, I am barfing and just everything's coming out of me. Go through the week, I'm starting to feel better. So my buddy Mike, who's passed away a few years ago, he says to me, "You want to go to the movies?" I go, "What?" He goes, "You want to go see that new vampire movie From Dusk Till Dawn?" I said, "Yes, I want to see that." Because this new guy, even though I knew who he was from TV, George Clooney, is busting in. It's Tarantino, who I love at the time. I was a big Pulp Fiction fan, Reservoir Dogs. Let's go. We're going to go to the movies. We go to the Meriden Mall. We eat dinner at like Ruby Tuesdays. Then we go to the Meriden Theater to see From Dusk Till Dawn. Now, I'm like days out of being sick. I feel better. Movie ends. We're leaving the Meriden Theater. And I feel as sick as I've ever felt in my life. Now, Mike was lead-footed dude. He drove like a fucking nut. And I used to chastise him because he more than once almost got us killed. I said to him, we get in the car, I said, dude, now we're in Meriden. I got to get to Middletown, Durham side of Middletown, where I live with my parents at the time. I said, whatever you got to do to get me home, do it. Because I'm going to fucking shit my pants.
You're going to have to run over children.
I don't care. Run kids over, figure out how to jump things, make this thing a James Bond fucking go underwater. I'm going to get sick.
Yeah.
He gets me home. I'm telling you, like fucking like 10 minutes. We're flying home. Pull up to my parents' condo. Fucking open the door. Don't even say bye. None of that shit. As I'm running to my parents' condo, I am slowly. It's slowly starting to bubble and
percolate.
Move.
Yeah.
I get the keys out. The John Cusack moment again. The fucking keys. I can't get my parents. My parents' condo door has now become fucking algebra. It's trigonometry. I can't figure it out. I get it open. Bust the door open. The bathroom at my parents' condo, where they still live, is right across from the front door a little bit. I bust in. My mom's in the living room. Hey, you're home. Shut up! Bust the bathroom door open. Shut the bathroom door. My belt now is like the most complicated thing on earth. I get my belt off. I unbutton my pants. Pull my pants down. Got the toilet seat up. I go to sit down.
So you're doing it wrong.
I go to sit down to let this fucking 9-gallon wet shit out. As soon as my legs unlock, my knees unlock from straight position, I let 18 gallons of liquid shit out all over my pants, in my pants, the floor, the toilet bowl, the wall, the apartment across the street, elementary school 2 doors down. And just long story short, I had to help my mom clean up my poop. At like 21 years old.
Why was your mom involved in cleaning up the poop at all?
Well, because she helped me out. Let me put it that way. Because I had to embarrassingly go out there and tell her I'm gonna need like some severe towelage or say man.
Right.
So that's
the Clorox wipes. That's just not gonna cut it.
Yes, and this was pre-Clorox wipes. This is like Clorox spray.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I didn't want to say she helped me.
You gotta unbuckle, dude, before you get out of the car.
Oh, I was in such a panic. So I will never think of From Dusk Till Dawn without thinking about the time that I shit everybody's pants on earth. But that being said, great fucking movie.
Yeah, it is.
I watched it last night and I hadn't seen it in a while. And 59 minutes before a vampire shows its face.
Yeah.
Right? The first hour of the movie is this straight up
gangster film.
Yeah. And then what I love about it is the second 40 minutes is a vampire film.
Out of fucking nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Out of thin air.
Right.
Right.
And we talked about Near Dark a million times. Near Dark never says the word vampire.
Right.
There's no fangs or anything. What I love about this movie is that as soon as the shit hits the fan, the main characters have this conversation about how this is vampires. Like George Clooney is like, I don't believe in it either, but guess what? This is fucking vampires.
Right.
So now what do we know? They're like, what do we know about vampires? What works, what doesn't? And they just kind of go through.
Keitel, that's what works.
Harvey Keitel, well, he is.
Works in everything.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
He's great in this movie.
Yeah.
He's great in this movie.
Cheech Marin's best role ever.
3. He has 3 roles in this movie. Cheech Marin plays the Border Patrol guy.
Yep.
He plays the pussy guy, and he plays the gangster.
Like good pussy? We have good pussy.
He plays the.
You find a better piece of pussy anywhere? Fuck it.
And he plays the final guy who their contact that was coming to see them.
From El Rey.
Quentin Tarantino is awesome in this movie. When you think about it, you're rooting for George Clooney's Seth Gecko character when you really shouldn't be, because this is a bad dude.
Piece of shit.
they make him a little bit more palatable because his brother is such a worse piece of shit.
Yeah, oh god.
And then you just, if you watch this movie and pay attention, the opening scene, you get the great what was his name? He died recently.
The cop.
The cop who was in Red State and he was in Kill Bill.
Yep.
Michael, what was his name? From Tusk. I know you like Tusk, but
great fucking actor.
Yeah.
Parks?
Michael
Yes,
Parks.
Michael Parks.
The guy who runs.
Who'd been fucked out of Hollywood. That's
Right. That was like one of his first things kind of that brought him back.
Yeah.
The guy who runs the convenience store in the beginning, is from Deadwood. It's Saul Starr.
The skinny dude.
He's in a million things. Again, I wish I should have.
fucking say anything.
I never mouth get the cops. And then I'd be remiss not to mention this: the Salma Hayek striptease scene. I mean, I watched this last night, and like I don't know, that was pretty incredible.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's just hot.
Yeah, she's
still
fucking.
fucking.
She's still incredibly
she's,
hot.
She's just hot. It doesn't matter still. It doesn't matter then. She's just hot.
She's the only woman in that whole scene. I noticed all the other women in the scene in the when they first go there are naked. She's not because she's the star.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even need to be. Like she's so much better looking than the rest of them. Santanica Pandemonium.
Oh, so great.
You get Danny Trejo.
That's
right. Yeah.
It's so much fun. And the other thing it does right is it's like you get Tom Savini with his dick pistol.
Yeah.
There's a great scene with
Fred Williamson.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah.
He
tells the hammer.
He tells the story about he's telling the story about how he survived he killed all the Viet Cong, and as he's showing the story,
everybody.
Tom Savini slowly turning into a vampire.
Yeah.
He's like checking his teeth. There's a great scene right in the beginning where the first time you
Tom
meet
Savini's name in the movie?
Sex Machine.
Sex Machine.
Yeah,
Fucking great fucking name.
What's your name? What was her name? I can't remember her name now. I think it was
Juliette Lewis.
Juliette Lewis's name was like
I can't remember
yeah.
what her name in the movie was.
What's your name? She says her name. He's like, Sex Machine. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
But there's a great scene where you first meet him in the bar, and it's Greg Nicotero. Greg Nicotero pulls a blade out on him, and then he's sitting at the thing, and his
I don't think I remember
dick
that.
gun pops out.
Okay.
It is so worth a rewatch if you haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Written by Tarantino, it fits into the Michael Parks character. Is the same Texas Ranger that was in Kill Bill.
Yep.
You don't know what the timeline is because he dies here, obviously. You get the Big Kahuna Burger. There's Red Apple Cigarettes. But it's directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Just a
Rodriguez.
fantastic fucking movie.
It's got one of my favorite, fucking great line. So just a great. It's got a lot of great lines, but I think my favorite was when they fucking spoiler alert. When fucking they finally get out at the end and Cheech Marin and his boys pull up. Yeah, that's the fucking line. When Cheech he sees all the fucking vampires go up in flames. He's like, "What were those psychos?" Clooney's like, "Psychos? Do psychos explode when sunlight hits them?
Yeah.
Those are fucking vampires. No, psychos don't explode when sunlight hits them. I don't give a fuck how crazy they are."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a recurring. He says it several times. Clooney. He's got like a kind of recurring motif of lines. He says, "All right, Ramblers, let's get rambling,"
which is the Reservoir Dogs line.
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs line. And then he says, "All right, heavy drinkers, let's start drinking heavy."
Yeah.
And it's just Clooney. There's something about Clooney.
I'm a Clooney fan.
He's magnetic, man.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to tell you that he's just got a charisma. It's amazing it took so long for him to break into Hollywood bigger.
Yeah.
You know,
it took some ER.
It did. It took his second show called ER too. Did you know that?
Oh yeah.
He was on a sitcom in the 80s called ER.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, he was. Yep. He was on Roseanne as well. He was on a sitcom in the mid 80s that lasted like 1 year called ER.
ER with
Elliot
Gould.
Yep.
Wasn't he on Facts of Life or something?
He was. He was on Facts of Life as well.
And what the hell is her name? The one that played the house maid for Charlie Sheen on that shitty show he did.
Oh, Conchata Farrell?
Yeah. She was on
Was she?
ER, yeah.
I remember seeing it, but it's been a long time.
E.R.
Yes.
It was a pretty funny comedy,
Yeah,
actually.
I remember watching it.
Didn't take
I
off.
had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, From Dusk Till Dawn's my favorite. Again, first hour is just a straight up crime movie. And then it literally just like explodes into
what just happened here.
What just happened.
Right.
And I've always dug it. And
Was it billed that way at all? I mean, there was no indication it was a vampire.
Oh, no, it was. It was? I think that it was billed as a vampire movie. I think people that went to see it were like, where, not that it was a problem, but
where's the vampires?
Where are the vampires?
Right.
But then once they get to the vampires, they go, you know how we like took an hour to get here? Fuck it. Everything's a vampire now.
Yeah. Here they all
It's
are.
like, oh, they're
Here
all
they
vampires.
Yeah. So that's a great movie. So
a
so
lot
I'm going
of
to go
fun.
with that for my number one.
That's a solid number one.
All right, Lloyd, you got some of our friends from the Twitterverse there. Why don't we find out what other people are digging for their top 5 vampire films?
Love at first bite.
All right. So you know what? We're going to do a little something
That's on my
different
honorable
today.
mention.
All right, what are we gonna do?
We're not going to pick the list from most of the people that we have lists from. You know, most of the friends of the podcast. I'm going to go with people that I don't know. I know you know most of them.
All right.
Or all of them, actually.
Yeah,
So,
ignore the people that we know. Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
Jesus,
so,
Lloyd.
yeah. I want to shout out to some people who
Fuck those
don't
guys.
normally hear their names. That's what I'm getting at. So I apologize to all of you who aren't going to hear your name. So Tristan Jones at Tyranno Jones.
Yep, he's a professional comic book artist. He does some work on the Dark Horse Aliens comics.
Excellent.
Yeah, he's very good. He's awesome.
All right. So number one, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
That's a solid movie.
1992. Yeah. My wife watched it. I was watching that this week, and my wife's
Bram
like,
Stoker's?
"This is just
Here's
this
the
is just
problem.
too weird. This movie's just too weird for me. I can't get
Bram
into
Stoker's Dracula is almost a perfect movie, except for Keanu Reeves.
it. Right.
Honestly, he takes me right. Dude, it's Gary Oldman, who's fucking
Yep.
incredible and everything. Winona Ryder does a good job. You got fucking Anthony Hopkins as Van Helsing. It's a great. Fucking Tom Waits as fucking Renfield.
Oh, Renfield. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And then you get fucking Keanu. Whoa, Dracula, dude. Fucking completely takes me out.
I'm like your lawyer or something. You wanted to buy Carfax, Abby?
House.
How's it hanging, Dracula, dude?
Did you get my luggage?
Yeah. I'm totally concerned about my luggage again.
All right, so I'm sorry.
All right. So Bram Stoker Dracula, number one. Number two, Shadow of the Vampire.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Number three, Nosferatu the Vampire, which I mentioned.
Yep.
By the way, that has a fantastic Renfield.
The 79 version?
Yeah, the 79. Then number four, Near Dark. And number five, Blood, the Last Vampire.
I think that's an anime.
That's an anime.
Anime,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've heard it's good. I've never, seen
heard
it.
of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so the next one is going to be Harold Sipe, at Harold Sipe.
He is a comic book writer and Small Monster Games. Take Out, the card game Lou did a review on. Him and his wife work on games and do different things.
Sweet.
All right, so number one, Nosferatu. Number two, Fright Night. Three, Let the Right One In. Four, Dracula 31, which we reviewed here. And number
Very concerned
five,
about his luggage.
yeah, Bram Stoker's Dracula again. Here's one, Kira Nerys.
Yeah, Leos, I think. I think that's I think her real last name's Leos.
Why does that sound
okay.
familiar? That
Yeah.
sounds familiar.
She's Chris Taylor Bodette's girlfriend.
Yep.
And she did an episode with us.
Okay, that's probably where I know the name from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They've
follow
been-
her
they've
on
been to your
Twitter and
shows.
Instagram.
Yeah.
So that's at empty underscore spaces. I
Yes,
believe.
yeah.
So yeah, 2 underscores. Fright Night, Lost Boys, From Dusk
Say
Till
hello
Dawn,
to the night. Lost Boys. Sorry.
Underworld. I think that's the first time we've heard that.
Underworld is actually
Was that a Kate
the
Beckinsale?
first
Kate
one.
Beckinsale?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I like the first one's a fun actiony movie.
I like
Yeah, that's
Kate
a good one.
Beckinsale.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, who
she made
doesn't
her
like
money
Kate?
on that one.
What,
There's that.
Kate Beckinsale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fucking weird.
Smoke
she's
show.
weirdly good looking.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
yeah.
Right.
She's
not
like
even-
almost too
not
good
even
looking.
fair.
Yeah.
And then her number 5, which will show up on my also ran The Hunger.
yeah.
Oh, well,
David Bowie,
David Bowie.
Catherine
Yeah.
Deneuve,
Bowie.
Susan Sarandon.
It's not a good movie though. That's the problem.
No, that's why.
Yeah, I would agree with
That's
you.
the problem.
It's just
I mean, you want it to be because it's David Bowie and
I'm gonna say David Bowie. He's gonna fight you for
If it's
it.
David
that's
Bowie, Catherine Deneuve, and Susan Sarandon, I got to at least watch
it's a great,
it.
no, it's
Yeah.
a great cast. But
There's some lesbo stuff in that too,
Tell-
right?
tell-
Yes.
yes, there is. Yes, there
tell
is.
me what Catherine Deneuve was actually good in, please.
I got nothing.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
see?
saying.
I got
Yeah.
nothing.
He did Altered States.
I can tell you. I can tell you what Bowie was good in. But,
Space.
stage.
Stage, yeah.
Apparently, The Elephant Man on Broadway and Labyrinth.
I'm waiting for you to say the
Ah,
wrong thing about
Labyrinth.
Bowie. Oh, Labyrinth. Fuck that movie.
You get to see the full outline of his cock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Trouser Goblin.
Through the
He
whole,
is the Goblin
through the whole
King.
children's movie, you get to see
Yeah.
the outline of his cock.
Yeah, really. What a cocking his pants for that whole movie.
Wow. Okay.
It's crazy.
Well, it's true.
You were lucky. That was a Pint Movie Invitational you missed.
I did miss that.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry.
I would have been fine with missing that one. It was fun, and it was Kira too. Thank you, Kira, for choosing that fucking movie. But
Yeah, right. That was her movie.
yeah,
Yep.
Ground control to Bowie's cock.
Wow.
7.
All right. So the next one is the home video hustle.
Okay, yeah,
Brent
that's a cool podcast.
at HVH podcast. Number 1, Blade. Then Dusk Till Dawn. Dracula 31. Life Force.
Toby Hooper.
First time that came up.
That's a weird one.
That's a Hooper.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I haven't thought about that in a
Space
while.
vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun stuff.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then Blackula.
There you go.
Yeah, Blackula's
And
great.
one more here, Ocho Duro Parlay Hour.
Yep, those are another great podcast out of, I think they're upstate New York.
Okay, and they're at OD Parlay Hour. Lost Boys number 1 from Dusk Till Dawn.
Say hello to the night, lost boys, lost in the shadow. Sorry.
Blade, 30 Days of Night.
Yeah, good one. That's
you don't like that?
That's one of Christine Capirlosi's favorites.
Really?
I
Isn't
do
that,
not
is that
like
Neil
that
Gaiman?
movie.
Who?
No, that's
Steve Niles.
Steve Niles. I'm sorry.
And who's the artist on that?
Ben Templesmith.
Yeah, which I bought that. I bought in on that early when IDW was
That first issue was worth a lot of money.
actually
I
for
still
one.
have it.
I quite like that.
I fucking hate that
Yeah,
series.
I like
I
it.
despise it.
I didn't hate the comic.
Strong.
I wasn't a huge fan of the movie, but I will give it this. Like we've talked about
The
before.
movie's better than the source material.
We've talked about before a little bit about how like we
Sorry,
talked
Steve
about
Niles.
we don't like sparkly vampires. You like vampires that are animalistic and
Sparkly.
evil.
yeah,
This movie
They
were
fit the-
certainly
it's just
I just can't deal with Josh
Evil.
Hartnett. That's my fucking problem.
yeah he's hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
Definitely I
He's,
agree
he's
with that.
missed. He's missed for me.
he was yeah. Well,
but
I'm not getting into that.
the
no,
vampires
I
vampires are solid.
just
Vampires are
don't.
solid.
I
in
just
that
don't
movie.
like that. No, don't like it.
Well, finishing off his
No, sir.
list,
Don't like it.
Underworld.
Oh, Underworld showed up again.
Yeah, Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale,
Hey.
skin tight leather.
Oh.
Oh, what happened?
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
So there we go. Scary Larry Dwyer hanging with us for our top 5 vampire movies of all time.
We got some honorable mentions.
Yeah, let's
you
get
can do-
let's do our honorable mentions real quick. I basically said all mine already. So
Did
I'll-
you? So I went through and took out the honorable mentions that you guys had because I had Dusk Till Dawn in there.
Right.
Yeah.
I had, of course, had Fright Night in there. So I took those out. Let's go with 2009's Thirst, Korean.
Oh,
Korean,
yes,
yeah.
that's on mine.
Park Chan Wook from Old Boy, Lady Vengeance.
Really
Weird. Sexual.
I like the crazy end and
very nuts.
the way it all went.
Flying around, very strange.
Yeah.
but good. I'm a fan. Interview with a Vampire.
Yes.
it's a solid movie.
I get
I'll
it.
say
yeah.
this: it's one of my favorite Tom Cruise performances, and one of my least favorite Brad Pitt performances.
I can see that.
I think it would have been higher if it was anybody but Brad Pitt. And I like Brad Pitt in some movies. I just thought he was terrible as Lewis in Interview. But I still do like the movie as a whole. Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, 2014.
I have been trying to see that.
Oh, it's fucking fantastic. That was one of my tops in 2014 on my list.
Yeah.
Iranian, actually filmed in California, but it's an Iranian vampire Western type thing. Definitely one to check out. Count Yorga, Return of Count Yorga.
Yeah.
Dracula 79, Frank Langella, Laurence Olivier.
I've
Donald
seen that.
Pleasence.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
I've seen
It
that. Yeah,
really
that was
is.
good.
Really
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blackula and Scream, Blackula Scream. And to top it all off, the Fearless Vampire Killers, Miss Sharon Tate.
Oh, Roman Polanski.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fun. That's fun. It's a fun movie. So that's my my other Rams there.
Lloyd, what do you got for
All right, I'll go with Dracula 1992, Bram Stoker's
Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Yeah. Fright Night, Blade 2, From Dusk Till Dawn, and Thirst.
John? You got anything that you?
And I'll just mention The Hunger again.
Well, I already mentioned the the Fright Night remake is on my honorable
I'll throw that
mention.
on mine too.
But I mentioned it earlier, but you guys were chatting away. But Love at First Bite, I love that movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh,
just
you were being
hysterical.
serious? You were being
I
serious?
am being serious. It's just so hokey and fun when Richard Benjamin whips out a Star of David to try and scare
is
the
that, is
vampire.
that George Hamilton?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, what is that?" He goes, It's just a stupid movie, but it's fun. And it's Artie Johnson. Gotta love that kind of stuff. But one that hasn't been mentioned, The Lair of the White Worm.
Good one.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. It's another one I haven't seen in forever.
It's very weird. It's very 80s.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those not quite a vampire, but is a vampire movie.
Right.
So.
You know, it's another one that I've never seen that
Get to
didn't
see
get
Catherine
mentioned.
Oxenberg wear a giant dildo.
which is key.
You know, that was on my Christmas list this year anyway. Dear Santa, what can you do for me in the Oxenberg dildo category?
Wait, is she not? No, I think she's about to get pierced by it. I think that's what's happening with it.
Pierced?
Yeah.
Or penetrated?
You have to see it.
Okay. Because pierced just sounds so different. Like,
okay. You gotta kind of see it.
Nobody's mentioned. I've never seen it myself, but I know it's a pretty big kind of cult movie. I think it was Guillermo del Toro's first Kronos.
Yeah.
With the little mechanical bug.
Yeah.
Was that good, or you never saw it, or
I've never seen it.
All right. I figured we'd get some play for that, but fuck you, GDT.
By Byzantium.
I've heard of that
one.
one. Yeah.
Byzantium's not bad.
Never saw it.
Oh, I didn't know that was a vampire movie.
Yes, it is.
I had no idea.
That's good. It's keyed.
All right. So that's our top 5.
Boy, we just faded out anyway.
That's our top 5 vampire films. But I wanted to throw this out there, Larry. So we do the Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors with you.
Yes.
We had you here we did the Stranger Things episode. The next time we do an episode with you, that's not Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors, which we usually do 2 a night, and let's do something like favorite 80s comedies or something. I want to bring a different. I know you're the scary guy,
I am,
but
the
we
scary
do
guy.
know that you also love other stuff.
I love plenty of movies.
So let's do something a little. Let's do favorite comedies of a certain year,
Favorite
maybe, or
prison escape movies.
anything. We're gonna pick something different the next time.
We got
Well, yeah.
We're gonna watch some Ilsa movies.
Yeah. Right.
She-Wolf of the
She-Wolf
SS.
of the SS. Yeah, right. I've heard of that. Again.
Yeah, let's come up with something.
All right. Let's maybe we'll do like
Top
our
5 rom-coms.
top.
Oh boy, not again.
I'm not a
Benny and
rom-com
June?
guy.
No?
No.
Okay.
No. Maybe like top 5 like
Top 3 maybe.
maybe top 5 80s comedies.
DiCaprio movies.
Oh.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I like DiCaprio. Fucking.
We can answer that on that episode.
I got one movie
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
I was
No,
gonna say we
fuck
can
yeah.
answer the
Quick and the
question.
Dead.
What's eating? Quick and the Dead is good.
where you
Quick
get
and Dead is
shot
good.
and dies whimpering in the dust.
He does.
Great.
He does. What's the one where he
and
fights
his
a
daddy.
bear?
And his daddy was like, "Bitch, I told you."
What's the one where he fights a bear?
Revenant.
Revenant. I've never seen that.
Fucking
that was good.
amazing.
The book
you know
was
what?
good, too.
The cinematography of the Revenant is.
John disagrees with you by the way he's making noises.
I
at you.
know. I could tell. But it's some of the most amazing cinematography you'll ever see in a film.
Okay, I gotta check it out.
It's incredible.
All right, Lloyd, why don't you let us out of this episode of Pint of Comics?
Get us out of here.
Get us out of here.
See ya.
It's over, Johnny. It's over. Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.